Hey everyone, this is Isaiah from Player Development. As you can see from all the boxes behind me, we're getting ready to move here in a month. So I thought I'd take the opportunity to take some of the old weights that I have, try to clean them up. They've got a lot of rust on them. I've gotten them secondhand. So all I'm using today are some soap, some rustoleum spray, and a wire brush that I got from Lowe's. And we're going to be looking at these weights right here. So this is supposed to be a simple process, but everyone who knows me knows I'm not handy. So we're experimenting with this, see how it goes, like and subscribe, follow, and check out how the process goes. So I'm using some Dr. Bronner's cast iron soap. I don't know if that's the kind that you're supposed to use, but just clean off some of the dust and the dirt. Some of these have been sitting for a while. So just trying to get it clean before we use the wire brush to take off the rust. That's one of them washed off. Gonna let this dry a little bit while I soak up and wash off the other ones. Alright, I'm going to grab a paper towel, dry these off, and then we'll start getting to scrubbing it with the wire brush. As you can probably see, these ones are a little more dirty and worn than rusted, but we'll still go through and scrape off with the wire brush, clean up some of those spots. And then we'll see what the spray paint does for it. It's definitely an adventure for me, trying out something like this. I'm not used to working with my hands. So this is exciting, getting an opportunity to try this out and see what we end up with in the end. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but just the washing, the soap has cleaned up some of the spots, and that's going to make our job a lot easier when it comes to scraping stuff off with a wire brush. I do see flecks of the old paint coming off as I'm wiping with the paper towel. You can see this piece right here. So definitely needs a new coat. And again, we'll see how that all turns out. Alright, I'm going to have to keep this corner, I'm going to try to keep this as my work area where the rust will come off. I'll try to clean that off as much as possible, but then I want a separate space for when I do spray so that none of it's clinging to the weights. Alright, so here is weight number 1 after scraping off with the wire brush. See a lot of the finish has come off. It looks a lot cleaner, and again, we'll just wait to see what it looks like at the end of the process. Here's weight number 2 before anything with the wire brush. This is after it was washed off with just soap and water. So here's how weight number 2 looks after scraping with the wire brush. Let's see if we can get through 3 and 4, and then we'll get to spray paint. Alright, so after weight number 3, I realized there's another edge that I've been missing. It's the inside edge here. I haven't been brushing that. So I gotta go back and do 3, 2, and 1 over again. Make sure to hit the inside ring. Alright, so right now what I'm doing, I'm just wiping off each plate as I finish up. My wrist is on fire. My forearms are pretty tired from all the scrubbing back and forth. So I'm going to leave this fourth one here undone so just washed off. I'm worn out, but maybe later on it'll just be used for a before and after picture too. So just wiping off some of the rust, old flakes of paint to make sure that doesn't get caught underneath the new layer that I'm about to put on. Alright, so I'll clean up a little bit, throw away the old paper towels, and we'll move outside onto the street to do some painting. Alright, let's see if I can figure out how this spray paint works. In case this works out really well, the brand I'm using is Rustoleum, but it's a Universal Advanced Formula Matte Gunmetal Gray. So let's see how that turns out. Alright, so here's how it looks so far. Hasn't had a chance to dry yet. Just finished spraying. I think I got all the edges. We're starting on one side, gonna let that sit for 24 hours, see if we need a second coat. And then once that's done, then we'll flip it over and paint. Alright, so we're on day 2. The plates have been able to dry overnight, and so we'll see how those look, and then go ahead and start flipping them over to be able to spray on the back. We'll let that dry again, and then we'll see what our final result is. Alright, these are looking pretty good. Paint's all dried up on this side. So by way of contrast, here's the unsprayed side. You can still see that ring of rust and worn off paint around there. So we'll get that cleaned up today, and then we will have our final result. Alright, so the back looks like it needs a little more work. Ken says that you can apply another coat within the hour. So we're going to wait a couple minutes and then go ahead and reapply a second coat to make sure we cover up some of those spots. Alright, so here's how the back of these plates look right now. This is after adding the second coat. And again, we will let that sit for a couple of hours and see what our final result looks like.